Hi, it's Mildred Songbird, the Michelle Birdsong in New York City. You're looking at Robin Birdsong, who was Azura, Adam and Eve's youngest child, the wife of Seth, who was Will Smith for president. And this is part 2 of the BBC documentary King James Bible. And this part is talking about the loves of King James as Robin Birdsong. Okay, so as investigator Sherlock Holmes, D. Michelle Birdsong has uncovered Robin's past life substitute loves. When she was Queen Victoria, she loved her husband Albert Prince Consort, who has been reborn as Lord Percy. His her child, when she was Queen Victoria, one of them is now Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and she has become an awkward member of Britain's royal family. That's Meghan House. But Robin Michelle Birdsong's deepest loves, the Michelle Birdsong as first principal scholar Albert Einstein has discovered, are her her very first mother, Eve, now the Michelle Birdsong. Her very first big sister, Awan, now her younger sister, Melanie Lynn Spear. And her second husband, Adam and Eve's third and perfect son, Seth, now known as iconic actor Will Smith, who was without a wife in the movie Hancock and I Am Legend. Azura's first husband was Abel, now Michael Phelps, who has won more medals in Olympics than any other. Abel got himself killed in the garden by Cain, Awan's husband, because he wouldn't give up sucking Eve's breast nipples, and move forward to eating fruits and nuts from the trees and vegetables from the garden. Cain couldn't bear to go on day after day seeing their mother suffering silently as her nipples were cracked and bleeding. So one day he grabbed Abel by his hair and flung him to the ground, accidentally killing him as Abel had cracked his skull on a rock. Hence the reason Giancarlo Arturo, Eve the Michelle Birdsong's baby, is destined to be what his mother, the Michelle Birdsong, had wanted to be at 9 years old, a brain surgeon, a neurosurgeon. The Michelle Birdsong Spear was told by her husband of 37 years, Michael John Spear, great master, Sawan Singh, that he sees that she is a brain surgeon. She fixes the invisible part, the mind, its traumas from its convoluted thoughts, logic, due to its stopped, blocked energy motions, emotions. By uncovering, as Sherlock Holmes, the hidden in the unconscious and subconscious part of the mind, collective unconscious, when you spotlight, so that's how she did it. On the unconscious it was, as you entered conscious. Okay, and she entered conscious, so collective unconscious. So when you spotlight disowned emotion and mirror it to the person owns it by realizing they call it, then it dissipates, the emotion dissipates and becomes pure energy, and the person now unblocked can move forward, seeing clearly. Song, I Can See Clearly Now by Johnny Nash. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. You know that wonderful song? Another song from musical Godspell, Day by Day. Okay, these songs are relevant to what's happened up here. Okay. King James Bible interpreters. Total fidelity to the original total translation to the people. That was the mountain they were faced with. In the 20th century, the Bishop's Bible, the principal document they'd been using, was found in the library in Oxford. This is the Bible Queen Elizabeth I, D. Michelle Birdsong, had commissioned. Constantine was the first emperor to adhere to Christianity. He issued an edict that protected Christians in the empire and converted to Christianity on his deathbed in 337. The history of the Christian religion and the Christian church began with Jesus and his apostles. Christianity is a religion that is based on the birth, life, death, resurrection, and teaching of Jesus Christ. Christianity began in the 1st century AD after Jesus died as a Jewish sect in Judea, but quickly spread throughout the Roman Empire. Despite early persecution of Christians, it later became the state religion. In the Middle Ages, when Charlemagne was in power, it spread into northern Europe and Russia. During the Age of Exploration, Christianity expanded throughout the world. It is currently the largest religion in the world. Scientist Greg Braden, in his video The Law of Attraction Unveiled, said, Emperor Constantine left 44 books out of the Bible, including at least one brilliant woman, and including the information about reincarnation, which 1 billion people worldwide still believe is true. Christianity religion had schisms and theological disputes that has resulted in 4 main branches: the Roman Catholic Church, the Eastern Orthodox churches, Oriental Orthodoxy, and Protestant churches. Most of the first Christians were ethnically Jewish or Jewish proselytes. And an early difficulty came from non-Jewish converts. There was the question if they had to become Jewish before becoming Christian. The decision of St. Peter, who is now retired Lieutenant General John Hopper, cousin of D. Michelle Birdsong, was that they did not have to become Christians. They did not have to become Jewish to become Christians, and the matter was further addressed with the Council of Jerusalem. The doctrines of the apostles brought the early church into conflict with some Jewish religious authorities, and this eventually led to the martyrdom of S.S. Stephen and James the Great and expulsion from the synagogues. James the Greater is the founder of this place I live in, St. Francis of Assisi, and Robert Birdsong, who you're looking at a picture, was St. Francis of Assisi, as well as King James, and as well as Azura, Adam and Eve's youngest child. Thus, Christianity got an identity distinct from Judaism. The name Christian is a Greek word, was first used for the disciples in Antioch, as recorded in Acts 11:26. The 17th century interpreters, this is back to the BBC documentary, the 17th century interpreters creating the King James Bible wanted to get the words right. Through their scholarship and through the absolute clarity of the words they used. The thing that makes a Bible sing in these translators' hands, and that is the close and vivid attention they pay to the way the words sound. D. Michelle Birdsong paid careful attention to the way the words sound in the pop lullaby Jenny Blue Eyes, and the ants carried what looked like a miniature boulder, rhyming a dog named Rover. Eve as Elizabeth I picture was placed on title page of the bishop's Bible, which was not widely read. It contained a great deal of information, but was not poetically presented. What It Is did not. That's the Edwin Birdsong album with words and stories by the Michelle Birdsong. What It Is did not display her photograph, nor did it mention her extra efforts, contribution to the Edwin Birdsong album, nor the second collaboration of Edwin Birdsong and his wife Michelle Birdsong, an album called Supernatural. What It Is got the attention of pop star Stevie Wonder. He had been in love with Michelle when she had been Eve and he had been the serpent in the garden, and he fell in love with her again, or perhaps his love was reawakened when he was Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh Dhillon's disciple Judas Iscariot, and she was Christ's wife, Mary Magdalene. So when he heard What It Is, when Stevie Wonder heard What It Is, he recognized her energy, i.e. real to the bone, honest. Edwin became Steve's close friend and often companion at the A-list parties he attended. He got the notice of Snoop Dogg, who sampled Edwin's later works, and other big-name rap artists followed Dogg. Kanye West, Edwin won a couple of Grammys. Daft Punk, Mary J. Blige, De La Soul, and others sampled Edwin's later work. Nobody big jumped on the What It Is Supernatural bandwagon because they were too high. They were over their heads. Although Steve sang, What It Is oh so new. What It is oh so true. Later on in the song he sang, I Just Called to Say, I Love You. The record company Polydor, a subsidiary of a German classical music label, had no clue as to what they had in these products, What It Is and Supernatural. So they didn't know how to sell a new true artist and his wife to the black community. Too bad. If they had, it would have raised the caliber of black music. The music and words stories, Norma Pinella, the Italian program director at WWRL, recognized the uniqueness of the word stories and Edwin's music and vocals. She said, your songs are movies. Talking about What It Is. Edwin was relevant to hundreds of thousands of black people and their supporters as he sang. He had been asked to sing to one of the songs from What It Is called It Ain't No Fun Being a Welfare Recipient in Washington, D.C.'s Poor People's Rally. Edwin's photo sitting at the piano and a sea of people facing him about to hear a song about many of their predicaments, welfare, his photograph appeared on the front page of the New York Times. You think that free publicity plus Stevie Wonder's respect and interest would have alerted his record company that they had something. But then two of their black marketing guys up and died. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Obviously, evidently, some very powerful people did not want Edwin and Michelle's message to get to the poor people. After all, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was trying to change the conditions of the poor people in the world after he successfully changed the conditions of black people in public accommodations by getting the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 passed. But before Dr. King could change the conditions of poor people, he was killed. Like I said, there were dark forces who did not want Dr. King, now Eve's grandson Lou Ranziger, nor Eve Tesla, the Michelle Birdsong, message to get out. Tesla wanted to and knew how to get free electricity to the world. Then the money was withdrawn from the project by J. Pierpont Morgan, who is now George Soros. Tesla put his own money in the projects. He wanted to benefit the people. Morgan set fire It's rumored, set fire to his lab and his plans, nearly killing Tesla, nearly burning him alive, but intuitively he had gone out to eat at that time. And the pattern repeats itself. D. Michelle Birdsong, after her job raising her children was over, they had grown up and her husband had left New York for San Francisco, she decided to live her dreams. She started a small business she called Mainstream Includes to the Marginalized, also known as Mainstream Includes to You, also known as Maine the March, the last name given to her by her first son, Anthony Craig Tony Williams, who was St. John the Baptist. She said she sold her co-op, which had started out with her as a dilapidated tenement, but she elevated it. She built it up to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for her and the other tenants in the building.